Most of the research solutions are normally provided by doing practical analysis in the lab in determining the threshold levels of most organic and inorganic compounds that exist or that are absorbed through the runoff from rainfall patterns changes. When we have a lot of rainfall, there is a huge runoff into the rivers, through these rivers to the lake systems or the large water bodies. So sometimes, to determine the major components that this runoff has absorbed with them to transport them into this water system, we need to take some lab analysis to determine the levels of such as these heavy trace metals, such as nutrients that may cause toxic or may affect the water, give a condition of eutrophication. This eutrophication may cause algal blooms, which most of these algae may be toxic and may kill even the aquatic animals such as fish. So it is necessary and important to always measure these non-toxic and toxic to determine the thresholds. After collecting our samples, we took them to the lab, and in the lab, the analysis of some selected nutrients were done, and these selected nutrients were nitrates, phosphates, and ammonia. These ones are very important because they are the ones that act as they provide the quality of the water, and also they are very important in the primary productivity of this water or this environment, because primary productivity is very important because it produces the first energy and then inducts it to the secondary, where we have the trophic status of the water that changes from eutrophic or from oligotrophic to eutrophic. Eutrophic is that the water has a lot of nutrients, and also you can see from even the measure of the clarity of the water or transparency of this water. So in our determination of these selected nutrients, during the analysis, for example, basically when I take nutrients analysis, first of all, we start with phosphorus, measure 50 ml of the collected samples, then add a complex reagent that is a mixture of ammonium molybdate with potassium tartalate, ascorbic acid, and sulfuric acid. This mixed reagent, add 5 ml of this complex reagent to the sample. Then let this sample mix well, and after some 8 to 1 hour, the extinction or the concentration was measured UV with UV spectrophotometer at a wavelength of 885 nanometers. And this data was recorded for further synthesis in some software. In nitrate determination, we first of all convert the nitrates into nitrites through passing this sample, 50 ml of the sample, through a copper-coated cadmium reduction column, and then collect 50 ml of that water through a column. Mix this collected sample with 1 ml of sulfalminomide, then add ethylene diamine, mix properly, then allow them to mix. After 2 to 10 hours, we read the concentration at a wavelength of 543 nanometers. In determination of ammonia, we measured 50 ml of this sample, then added 1 ml of phenol, then followed with 1 ml of ethylene diamine, mixed thoroughly, and then allow them to mix, then measure the extinction or absorbance or the concentration at a wavelength of 630 nanometers. This data was then taken to a software, Excel software, and then analyzed and developed several figures and charts to explain and get the findings. And these findings are synthesized and then compared with the WHO levels or the standard levels that are required in our waters, because there are threshold levels that are required. If they are in excess than the required or the measured standard levels, then something has to be done, because either if these levels are in excess, they may cause pollution in these waters and affect other organisms that are in the water. Like if we say, if the nitrogen and phosphorus ratios are higher than the required levels, they cause a condition that is called eutrophication. Eutrophication is where we have excessive growth of algal blooms, and these algal blooms may affect the water by, one, they may cause a condition called anoxia, in a way that if these nutrients are very high, they multiply the phytoplankton in excess, and when they multiply this phytoplankton in excess, they may utilize all the oxygen, and after utilizing all the oxygen in water, they may cause a condition called anoxia, and this anoxia condition may kill the fish that is in the water. This determination of these levels are very important in our research solutions. They provide research solutions in most cases. This gives us the way we can solve problems, because if our ecosystems are not well monitored and they are the primary producers of our aquatic system, because this aquatic system, there is a food chain that goes up to upper animals, even up to the human beings, because people need fish, and this fish basically is the major source of protein in most communities who are still under poverty levels. For example, if I can say, if we do not keep Lake Naivasha safe, and it has over now, as we speak, maybe approximately over 7,000 fishermen, because fishermen who are directly or indirectly depending on this resource, because we have all those transporters, we have all those traders, we have the fishermen themselves, we have the boat riders, we have all those people who depend in this water. If the fish is not there, then so many people will withdraw, go into other, some of them may go back to their rural homes. What I mean to say is that if we don't monitor this lake, what goes and what enters into the lake, if we don't measure, we may cause a lot of lives, and we may reduce our gross per capita income in our country, which is very important. So why I was very much interested in surveying this River Malewa is because, one, River Malewa comes from upper catchment, drains everything that it absorbs from the rain, from all the small towns within this river belt. Everything is carried, taken through up to the downstream, enters into Lake Naivasha. So this lake, we need to monitor it, as we see basically first what it entails. Who are the stakeholders of this lake? So if we don't look at the waters up there from the catchment, as you know, throughout the catchment there's a lot of agricultural activities, there's a lot of fertilizers that being used through agricultural farming. There is a lot of horticultural growing of flower farms, which also use most pesticides. There's also people who do small scale and large scale farming. There's also people who layer cattle, like one point that I was measuring. They call it Nyairoko. This Nyairoko, there's a lot of livestock. They urinate, they do everything there. So we need to take care of this lake, measure these levels. We go as far as measuring those toxic substances like cadmium. We measure mercury. We can even go and measure even the lead, because this fish we eat may be causing problems. We have been talking of cancer rise up. What is the problem? Where does this problem of cancer come from? Because some of us, people eat fish because they thought that red meat is now toxic, because most cows are being injected and they are being given hormones which may cause this cancer, and people ran back to fish now, thinking that fish is safe, and we just keep quiet, don't monitor this water. We may be having this cancer coming from fish without not knowing. Because one, as I said earlier, every time these nutrients are increased, they cause algal blooms. And these algal blooms, we have those blooms that are called harmful algal blooms. These may have some toxic substances in them, and these substances cause death of fish. And sometimes when fishermen fish this fish, they take this fish to their homes. Their loved ones eat. We need also to measure all those coliforms that are in water. We need to study the healthy conditions of our natural systems. Some people go and swim. They swim in these waters. And if they swim in these waters, they get those toxic substances that entered into the water. And sometimes these substances that get in are the major causes of cancer. Because now cancer is a risk in the 21st century. Everybody is complaining, where does this cancer come from? So we need to come and look together, all those stakeholders, all those public organizations, they come together. We need to fund these projects of harmful algal blooms. Now, after my analysis, I took this data into my software, then used SPSS to analyze this data and get all those figures, and then display my research to discuss my findings and relate them to other research and compare to other rivers like Mekong River. We have even our rivers within our country. Then we compare this data with other researchers that have been done. So after that, we will be safe, and we will also produce more fish for our people. Thank you.